Coming up next on Stag Country.
Very, very tough. And for me, when we talk about it, I think it's therapy.
Basketball coach Ed Cooley talks about his very humble beginnings and how his positive attitude gets him through negative times.
So we're at the North Shore and this is Waimea Bay.
The swim team says aloha. An insider's trip home with sophomore sensation Michelle Yoshida. 17 years together, basketball coaches who have won everywhere they've been and are now doing it here at Fairfield. Lean on us for these stories and more coming up next on Stag's Country. Hello, I'm Noah Finz, and this is Stag's Country, Fairfield University. An exciting place to be this time of year, especially when you're talking sports. The Stags are enjoying great success in all their winter sports, especially men's basketball. The season tipped off with the inaugural Connecticut Six. It's an event that brings 6 of the state's Division I programs together for one great night of basketball. This year it was at the arena at Harbor Yard. Fairfield took the lead in bringing all the schools together for what will become an annual showcase.
Feedback has been extremely positive. I think we're really excited about going forward and where this can go.
The Stags won their game against Central Connecticut State and haven't stopped winning since. Especially exciting has been the play of newcomer Derek Needham. The speedy point guard has all but owned the Conference Freshman of the Week award. He's one of the conference leaders in assists, points, and steals. Add a healthy Anthony Johnson and a new and improved Urel Hawkins, and the Stags are off to their best start in 30 years. And to think how bleak it looked before the season even started. 2 top-flight players lost for the whole season due to injury and illness. But head coach Ed Cooley doesn't worry about what he doesn't have. From the time he was a little boy, he's focused on what he does have, and it wasn't much.
Yo, we're gonna stay good because we're disciplined, and we're gonna do the right thing all the time.
Nothing that one of our players can tell me that I don't think I've experienced. From food to clothes to parenting to siblings to not being able to heat up bath water, heating up water on a stove so you can bathe yourself. I tell them keep those stories because I don't want to hear it. I want to hear what they do have.
This is Ed Cooley's neighborhood, the south side of Providence, where he didn't have the same opportunities or essentials most of us take for granted.
I remember going into a drugstore, Adams Drugstore, which is about 2 miles up on the right, and I remember putting a toothbrush in my pocket. I kind of had sticky fingers, and I remember taking a toothbrush because I didn't have a toothbrush and I couldn't afford a toothbrush.
How old were you?
I don't know, 10, 11 years old.
Cooley's single mother was unable to provide much in the way of the staples for him and his 8 siblings. You saw a lot of people, including family members, take the wrong path, and you say you learned lessons from that.
I'm a visual learner, both good and bad. No one's perfect, but I saw some of the things that was around me that wasn't positive, and I did not want to have that. I didn't want to be like that.
And so he had to make positive things happen for himself. He always had a job, even got one at the laundromat, since he was there anyway doing his and his sister's laundry. He says the most important thing he learned was not to be shy asking for help.
I knew basically everybody's food cycle and what time their families would eat, and you know what? I would show up, hey, how you doing? What are you guys doing right now?
It's when he came to this house, just about a mile away from his home, that he was given the opportunity of his life.
Pops, what's up?
All right, how you doing?
Good.
Come on in.
I slept over one night and never left.
The Seawrights, he played ball with their son, and although they didn't have much, they sort of adopted Cooley.
They provided food. As you know, food was always tough to come by. Shelter. It was always warm here at the house.
So he lived there and spent a lot of time here at the Southside Boys and Girls Club.
This was a place that was always safe. It was a place where you can get a meal.
And it's where he honed his game, a game that earned him a spot in the New England Basketball Hall of Fame for his stellar high school career. Such a good player that he could have wanted to rely on just that. But his English teacher at Central High School wouldn't let him. Paula Milano gave him the kick in the pants he needed to take his studies seriously.
You fight for the ones you know you can make it, we all knew that. We just knew that there was something in Eddie, that he was going to do well. He was going to make it.
She even reached into her own pocket to help him pay for prep school. The New Hampton school in New Hampshire didn't initially accept Cooley, but he sat on the headmaster's stoop to make his plea.
I said, I need to come here. I have nowhere else to go, and you can't tell me no.
And then he convinced him to let him work off the tuition he couldn't raise.
Paid my debt off to the school by working on their grounds and working in a cafeteria and becoming a proctor, and just worked my way through the loan. I don't know if I've ever paid it back. I'm pretty sure that there's a balance out there somewhere.
You got some more dishes to wash.
Got some more dishes and, some more snow up there they probably want me to plow.
Go! Too slow, Ryan. Too slow.
Cooley now has his own team and the same old motto.
If you want something, you got to work for it, and you go ask for it. You go for it all. Don't use excuses for what you don't have. Be appreciative of the things that are in front of you.
He swears he'll never go back to a laundromat, and he now provides for his 2 children what he didn't have growing up. But he doesn't resent anything. He got to know and enjoy spending time with his biological father, often visits his biological mother, and appreciates both of them for giving him life.
We all can complain about what we don't have, but I want our players and my friends and people around me to understand what they do have.
The women's basketball team is also enjoying a successful season under second-year head coach Joe Frager. He was hired in 2007, and Fairfield didn't have to look far to find him, nor did he have to look far to find his top assistant. Kendra Farn has their story.
Winning at every level, AAU, high school, Division II college, and now Division I. Joe Frager has done it, but not without his trusted sidekick.
Get a drink and then head back down this way.
Laura Cinto.
It's been a great run. It really has.
17 years. They met while coaching AAU ball. Frager then hired Cinto to be his assistant at Seymour High School, where they put together 3 state championships, including back-to-back undefeated seasons in '97 and '98. Frager was then hired at Southern Connecticut State University and took Cinto with him, where they combined for a Division II college national championship in 2007.
Joe Frager and his Owls, congratulations.
I think that having Laura with me during that period of time, when you surround yourself with good people, you usually get good results.
The result of that national championship was the opportunity to get hired at Fairfield, but Frager wasn't going anywhere without his top assistant.
If I'm going to make that move again, you're coming with me again.
I was blessed to have him want me to move along with him. At the time, I was working as a nurse, so I still had to work the night shift. So I was at Southern Connecticut putting in full-time hours, part-time job. Moving here to Fairfield was good for me in that I can now have a full-time job and not have to do the night nursing and kind of be awake now.
Like any good union that spans nearly 2 decades, they've come to know each other so well. Many things go unspoken, just assumed.
Because we've been together so long, she knows exactly what I want 9 times out of 10. And I like to think that all of my weaknesses are her strengths, and vice versa.
Because I've been around him so much that I usually can anticipate what he wants or what he needs.
In addition to her work on the sideline and in practice, she heads up the advanced scouting.
They'll usually come out and ball screen.
Keeping in touch with all the recruits.
Coach Frager definitely wants to be able to to spend some time with you and your parents.
Their coaching combination worked right away. In their first year, they won 22 games at Fairfield. They're trying to instill the same culture that worked everywhere else they've been.
And we just made really good progress. We're not where we want to be yet, but we're making progress.
The swim coach has had a long relationship with one of his swimmers. Bill Farley used to coach Michelle Yoshida when she was a little girl back in Hawaii. Now he's getting a chance to do it here at Fairfield. When Michelle Yoshida chose to swim at Fairfield, it was like reeling in the big fish for Coach Bill Farley. Or it would probably be more appropriate to say it was like landing the big kahuna. That's what they say back home in Hawaii.
The impact she had, she still hasn't lost a conference meet yet, through a year and a half.
Coach Farley isn't surprised. He started coaching Yoshida when she was 10, when he lived in Hawaii.
Just the fact that I know him really well, I did really well swimming with him in at home, so I assumed I would be able to improve a lot with his training here.
And she has, and she's improved Fairfield swimming. Just a sophomore, she already holds 20 records.
The impact that she has within the women's program, during the Marist meet, the women won the medley relay, okay, and the men won the medley relay. We've never done that before. And if we didn't have Michelle, we wouldn't be doing that.
She pretty much just jumped in the pool here and started winning races, although she had to acclimate a little from the hang-loose lifestyle to the hustle and bustle of the cold Northeast.
Even when I came here for orientation, like at night it would be like 60 and I'd be like, it's cold.
She didn't even own a jacket before she got here. She also wasn't used to swimming indoors, but she's gotten used to all the differences, which doesn't mean she doesn't still miss home and doesn't love telling her teammates about life in the Aloha State. But how about the opportunity to show them? And that's just what she got to do. The whole team just spent 2 weeks training in Oahu with their Hawaiian teammate as their tour guide.
Welcome to Hawaii.
And of course, they brought the video camera along.
So we're at the North Shore and this is Waimea Bay. In the winter, the waves are really, really big. It's when the Eddie Cow can be held if the waves are 40 feet and higher. And in the summer, it's really calm and people jump off rocks and it's a lot of fun. Hi, we're at Mama Bay and it's the best snorkeling spot on the island. You see lots of neat fish and sea turtles and it's a lot of fun. So this is Punahou School. I've been going here since kindergarten, so I went here for 13 years. There's many famous people that have gone here, such as President Obama, Michelle Wee, Bill Case, to name a few. I'm really excited for my whole team to be here just to see what it's like or where I went to high school.
A rare treat for all of them who took advantage of Yoshida's old pool, an outdoor pool, in a place where it's no jacket required. Just another day in paradise. When Stag's Country returns, one of the all-time greats here will leave the school with more than any championship could have ever given her. Plus, swimming in every race for the Stags wasn't enough for this swimmer. He found himself a pretty prestigious project out of the pool as well.
At Fairfield University, we explore big questions, complicated ideas, and unlimited possibilities.
In a community of learners representing diverse beliefs, opinions, and experiences.
Actively engaged in a caring, supportive, and fun community.
Our education prepares us to be thoughtful, global citizens, serving the common good.
At Fairfield University, you will get an inspiring education.
For an inspired life.
With sumptuous guest rooms, fitness center, rooftop pool, and the Blue Martini Lounge, the Bridgeport Holiday Inn is all new, from top to bottom. A world-class day is just minutes away at the Bridgeport Holiday Inn. Log on to hibridgeport.com to make your reservation. Blue Martini. Fairfield County's sophisticated new gathering place for food and drink is now open. Blue Martini in the newly renovated Bridgeport Holiday Inn.
It's tough to miss. The new piece of art in the center of campus stands about 12 feet high, 14 feet long, and weighs over 2,000 pounds. Fairfield commissioned a sculptor in Wyoming to create the bronze stag. A year later, he put it on a flatbed truck and drove it across 10 states to the center of campus, where he now stands proud.
We had no idea what was going to go in that planter when this was done 3 years ago, but we knew something was going to go in. So we didn't know if it was going to be a water fountain. We didn't know if it was going to be a statue of a Jesuit. We had no idea. And then it just seemed that everything fell into place. And it almost seems like a natural place for it, and people are just praising us, saying we had this grand vision for putting it there when the stag really fell into place. There's no other way to describe it.
An athlete who left her own mark on campus is now gearing up for life after college sports. Katie Mann will not only be remembered as one of the greatest volleyball players to wear a Stag's uniform, but as a leader her teammates could always lean on.
From Del Mar, California, number 6, Katie Mann.
Katie Mann left quite a handprint on the Fairfield volleyball program. She's the only Stag ever with over 1,300 kills and 350 blocks. In fact, she's in the top 10 in 10 different statistical categories.
It's been a great 4 years. I really could not have asked for a better collegiate volleyball career.
But numbers don't completely tell her story.
A leader on the court, when she'd hold people accountable if they weren't playing well, she would go after them a little bit, and she pulled everybody along with her and just gave everybody else a little bit more confidence because they knew that we could go to Katie when we needed something.
It's a pregame ritual Mann helps start. It's indicative of how close the team is and her leadership skills.
It was at Iona this year, and you can just tell the energy was not very high before the match, and it was a game we had to win. And so my coach approached me, and she's like, you got to get them going. You got to somehow pump everyone up.
And it worked. But what Mann wanted more than anything was a MAC tournament championship. She came close her first 3 years. The Stags lost to Siena in the championship game each time. And then her Stags lost this year in the semifinal game to Marist. A tough pill for Mann, the lone senior on the team, to swallow, but not enough to taint her overall experience.
I couldn't imagine Fairfield without volleyball. I've made amazing friends the past 4 years, and really, overall, like that, I think that means more than winning a MAC championship and getting that ring, even though we've worked so hard towards that ring.
And so now she moves on. She says she'll eventually return home to California, but before she does, she'd like to pursue a job in marketing or finance in New York City. She says her experience at Fairfield will help her. And though she moves on without a trip to the NCAAs, she knows she takes with her invaluable lessons and friendships.
And I still listen to that song, and I'm going to remember a great time.
A couple of other successful Stags now have just each other to lean on. Despite their physical differences, James Jessup and Ben Andrews are rowing their way to unprecedented success. Kendra Farn has more with the two-man crew.
They are the most successful boat Fairfield has ever had, men, women, novice, varsity.
And who would have thought it?
A very odd couple. In terms of rowing, they're physically very different.
Ben's been a lightweight his entire life, and I've been a heavyweight. So he was the skinny guy and I was the fat guy.
They're even different in their racing philosophy. The lightweight Ben Andrews likes to get in the boat and go. The big guy, James Jessup, would rather work out a strategy.
I tried doing that so much last year, but this guy would always just say, let's go fast that way.
And it was very successful and it worked perfectly.
It's tough to argue with the results. Jessup and Andrews finished third against the best competition in the country at the prestigious Dad Vale Regatta in Philadelphia last year. And they've won all but 3 of the races they've entered. It started with their very first race together as a pair.
We start and we finish the race about 40 seconds ahead of the competition. So we were pretty excited about that. We knew that things were going to be good.
Andrews raced as a lightweight in the 4-person boat his freshman year. Jessup raced in the 8-man boat until last year, his junior year. Coach David Patterson knew these were his 2 strongest rowers, so despite their differences, he matched them up.
Yeah, it was a match made in heaven in the rowing world.
Not only in the rowing world, it's a pretty good match at home, too. Now that they're roommates, they say they spend about 10 hours a day together. And even when the weather is cold and the boats can't go in the water, they're rowing. They work out side by side on the rowing machines about 100,000 meters a week. It's a lot of work being a rower.
Rowing's a bit of a cult, I'm not going to lie. I mean, we do have the early morning practices. It's the commitment required to succeed, the commitment required to win those medals is an awful lot of work.
But welcomed by this odd couple who are in the process of leaving quite a legacy of success at Fairfield.
It's been really interesting.
It's been a fun time.
Yeah.
They are bonded by their madness of devotion to the sport.
When Stags Country returns.
Maybe I came here to dive, but maybe there was a higher reason for me to be here.
A diver is forced to pursue his other talents. And a swimmer dives into reviving a campus tradition. This and more coming up next.
When was the last time you were challenged intellectually by a great speaker or wowed by an artistic performance? Fairfield University offers a provocative lineup of events that will enrich the lives of you and your family. Thrilling music, dance and theater performances, creative exhibitions, and thought-provoking lectures. Come to Fairfield University curious and leave inspired.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. And we're from the Fairfield women's basketball team. So we're here to read you guys a nice book today. You guys ready?
Fairfield University athletes come into class for the Read Aloud program. It's a regular treat for Bridgeport Elementary School students.
They're all very much into sports. So when you get the idea that you have an athlete coming to read to you, it just makes it even more important and more inspiring for the students.
The Read Aloud program is part of the university's dedication to community outreach. The young students here at Caesar Battaglia Elementary obviously enjoy it, but the student athletes say they also get a lot out of it.
I felt good. I felt like I was doing a good deed. I like to read on my free time, so it felt even better to share that experience with the younger children. Here, at last, was a true adventure.
A member of the swim team has been doing a lot of reading. John O'Connor has been given the task of restarting a popular literary magazine on campus, and he is loving every second of it.
I really do love water. I mean, when I was young, I was the baby who cried when they took me out.
And John O'Connor has been in the pool since. He's mostly a distance swimmer, holds 2 school records in the butterfly, but he's actually competed in every single event for the Stags.
That's pretty remarkable if you think about it.
But Coach Bill Farley knows that's how O'Connor is. He's serious about the things he likes, swimming and his other passion.
I've always been really interested in creative writing. When I was younger, I would write stories all the time. I had a 2nd grade teacher who had us write journals, and every single day we would write a story, and her big thing was just start writing, keep on writing, and I was that kid who couldn't put my pen down.
He's so passionate about writing, he was the perfect candidate to revive a longtime campus literary publication that went dormant, The Sound.
Everything that he does, he approaches with care and meticulousness, and he has an idea of excellence that really is beyond that of most of his peers.
He's as dedicated there as he is here in the pool.
It's really a shame for us not to have a literary magazine if no one else is going to do it. I mean, someone has to do it.
And so O'Connor and his co-editor, Stefania Cambanis, spend hours a day reading submissions from alumni, faculty members, and students as they prepare to relaunch The Sound online.
Yeah, we're taking a lot of different types of things for The Sound. We're taking prose, we're taking poetry, we're taking speeches. It could be a letter, like a little post-it note that you had that might sound cool.
With all he has going on, swimming, and the administrative duties that come with being an editor, O'Connor says he doesn't have much time to write his own stuff, but he's inspired by reading others.
It just said so much, and the way she wrote it was so beautiful.
And somehow, through all he has going on, O'Connor remains on the dean's list.
I mean, I'm not going to say that I have a lot of free time right now, but you have to kind of make sure that everything's in balance, and you have to make sure that you're doing the things you like, and as long as you like what you're doing, you'll make time for it, and it'll work out.
When Andrew Thompson left California to come here and dive at Fairfield, he couldn't have been more passionate about his sport. But circumstances have changed his direction. And as Kendra Farn reports, things couldn't have worked out better for him.
You came to Fairfield for diving, period.
Completely for diving.
In fact, Andrew Thompson had never even heard of Fairfield University when the coach called. One visit and he fell in love with it. But in February of '08, Thompson suffered a serious back injury while in a harness dry ground training at home in California. And almost 2 years later, the diagnosis is still tough for doctors to pinpoint: fractures, spinal cord, and nerve damage.
I really never thought that it was as bad as it was. I had every doctor telling me next semester, after the summer, nothing ever changed.
It's been so bad that last year as a freshman, Thompson practiced but couldn't compete.
It was miserable last year, and I kind of grew to accept it by the end of the year.
As a sophomore, he's still hanging on, practicing a few times a week with his team, though on chronic painkillers and still not competing.
It's usually the days that I wake up and I'm able to function, I'm able to get out of bed without pain. Those are the days that I know, okay, today I'll allow myself to try to get on the board and dive.
Are you prepared to accept that you may never compete again?
I don't want to accept it, but I think it's definitely something I need to, it's definitely crossed my mind.
So crossed his mind that he's now not giving 100% to the pool, but finding other outlets, like singing, trying out and making the Glee Club and Chamber Choir. A way, he says, to release stress and express himself, which he also does through art, sketching, and painting. He's been working on this huge piece since high school, abstract and difficult to describe. But Thompson's unexpected newest and strongest passion is film. He's now changed his major and is finding truth in that saying, things happen for a reason.
Maybe I came here to dive, but maybe there was a higher reason for me to be here.
So if in 2.5 years, Andrew Thompson graduates from Fairfield with a track to be an incredible film director as opposed to an all-American diver, you're okay with that?
Now that I'm here and now that I have all these opportunities, I would be entirely happy, completely content.
When Stag's Country returns, a student gets some airtime with an athlete who's not used to getting any time. That's next on Stag's Country.
At Fairfield University, we explore big questions, complicated ideas, and unlimited possibilities.
In a community of learners representing diverse beliefs, opinions, and experiences.
Actively engaged in a caring, supportive, and fun community.
Our education prepares us to be thoughtful global citizens, serving the common good.
At Fairfield University, you will get an inspiring education.
For an inspired life.
There are all sorts of opportunities for students here at Fairfield. This media center has state-of-the-art equipment for those interested in film and broadcast media. In fact, this is where students work on putting this show together. It's a rare opportunity for them to produce commercial television, and in this case, earn a spot on the show, as we showcase a student showcasing an athlete.
Hi, I'm John Tessitore, a sophomore here at Fairfield University. With hands-on access to high-definition equipment in our state-of-the-art media center facilities, students have the opportunity to host their own radio show, shoot and edit their own films, or create a TV show. We even get the chance to produce our own stories here on Stag's Country.
Let's go, 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 go!
Unappreciated, unknown, anything but unwilling. Gary Martin, a sophomore, finds himself on the men's basketball team after spending his entire freshman year as a team manager.
Eventually, I don't always want to be an underdog.
Martin grew up in Cleveland and attended a new high school that didn't have a varsity basketball team until he was a junior. He only played 25 varsity games in 2 seasons. Yet, he still was confident enough in his game to try to convince Coach Ed Cooley to let him walk on.
If I believe I can do it, why can't I, you know?
Good job, Gary. Just so you know, Gary's got 2 of your 3 rebounds.
Cooley gave Martin the opportunity to be a part of the team. As a manager, he stayed persistent and without hesitation accepted his new role.
Coming from my situation, I understand like Coach Cooley owes me nothing. So I just told him I wanted to walk on and then put the rest is in my hands.
Then in October, Martin made the team. Although excited, he was anything but satisfied. In fact, Martin's jersey does not even have his name printed on the back. But he has his motto tattooed across his chest.
I got it, the hunger for more tattooed across my chest just as a reminder, you know, that you have to stay hungry, you know, never be satisfied. Because, I mean, especially coming from where, you know, I come from and a lot of people on the team come from, I mean, it's not always the best situation, so you gotta stay hungry.
Sitting the bench is not easy, especially when you go through the same demanding schedule as a scholarship player. Yet, it doesn't anger him. It reminds him of how far he has come.
I have nothing to be angry about. Last year I was a manager. Last year I wasn't, playing. I wasn't in the layup line. But right now you have to understand your role also. So right now is you just keeping the team morale up, keeping everybody ready to play.
Gary Martin came into Fairfield with a desire and hunger for success. Whether he becomes a leading scorer or remains a bench player, one thing is for certain. He believes he will always stay hungry on and off the court.
And thanks to all the students who worked so hard in producing this show. In fact, they're already hard at work producing our next show. Till then, we'll see you here in Stag's Country.